Paragraphs exist to create structure in your paper. And what we're going to do today is talk about what makes a good paragraph versus what makes a bad paragraph. A paragraph is a unit of thought. And in the same way that a thesis statement serves as a rudder that steers your entire paper, paragraphs are the units of thought that come under that thesis statement that carry those thoughts to their conclusion, that prove your thesis statement. So typically in an academic setting, a paragraph will be anywhere from 3 to could be a dozen sentences, but probably for at the junior high school and college level, you're looking at anywhere from 3 to 8 sentences for a paragraph. And again, there are no hard set rules there. The only rule that governs a paragraph really is that it contains one unit of thought, not 2 units of thought, not 3 units of thought, not 1.5 units of thought, and certainly not half a unit of thought. It's one complete unit of thought. Well, how do you know how to keep a paragraph on target? What steers the paragraph, in the same way that the thesis statement steers the paper, what steers the paragraph is something called the topic sentence, and that means the first sentence. If I say, what's a good cliched one? It was a dark and stormy night. Okay, that's the first sentence of my paragraph. Then the rest of the paragraph should talk about and give examples of and help the reader feel and get a sense of this dark and stormy night, right? Maybe I'll talk about the wind, I'll talk about the rain, I'll talk about the lack of light, I'll talk about how scary it is or whatever. Think of topic sentences as promises that we make our readers. You start a paragraph with a sentence like, buying books online is not difficult. Well, then you would expect the rest of the paragraph to do what? Explain how easy it is to buy books online, right? And so with that example, let me pull this thing up here. And I know you guys can see this. This is a paragraph that uses that first topic sentence about buying books online. I'm going to read it to you, and you can read along, and you tell me if you think this topic sentence guides this paragraph. Do you think this paragraph delivers on the promise that the topic sentence gives? So here we go. Buying books online is not difficult. Start by turning on your computer. The best computers out there these days are PCs. They're much better than Macs. I like iPhones though. If I had one, I'd go jogging every day. There's a park near my house where I'd run because the grass is so nice there. I can't run in the spring though because I have allergies. My doctor gave me a prescription, but I found that the over-the-counter stuff works great. Do I really need to talk about that? Are you still with me? What happened there? Would you call that paragraph sensical? Did that paragraph hold together? Did that paragraph deliver on the promise? No, it did not. What was the promise? The promise was, I'm going to tell you how easy it is to buy books online, right? Because that's the opening sentence. Buying books online is not difficult. And then the second sentence, start by turning on your computer. Okay, well, I mean, aside from the fact that that's kind of an obvious statement to make, it's still at least on topic. But then what happens? What do we have here? The best computers out there are PCs. Okay, thanks, I guess, for telling us. They're much better than Macs. I like iPhones though. And on we go. By the end, we're at a drugstore, and the guy's buying over-the-counter allergy medicines to go jogging in the park or something. Like, what does this have to do with buying books online? So, I hope you were very quick to recognize this would be a paragraph that you, your instructor, we would all say, yeah, you're lacking. Your paragraph is lacking cohesion, is what that's the fancy word for. But basically, what it means is your paragraph doesn't make any sense. It starts going here, and then it ends up over here, and then it goes there, and this and that, and it's all over the place. And what happens is your readers are completely confused. And a confused reader is not going to remain a reader very long. Speaking as a professor, I have sat there with used to be a stack of papers, like that high, and I pick up a paper, and I'm just so hoping that these paragraphs are going to hold together, because when they start to fray at the edges and come apart like the one I just read to you, I'm completely confused, and then I'm trying to make heads or tails of it, and I'm looking at all these other papers on the stack, and it's just so discouraging. You don't want to be that person, right? You don't want to be the person who your teacher looks at the paper and goes, yeah, I'm going to save that one till the end. I just can't deal with that right now. You want to be the student whose paper the professor or the teacher is like, oh, you know what? I know if I read that paper, I will not be confused, and I'll enjoy it. So let me read that one first. Let me give you another example, okay? Because that first one was obviously a bad paragraph. Didn't hold together. Let's try another one. Let's go look at the second one. The best place in California to go catch a fish is off the island of Catalina. Tourists flock there year-round to shop, eat, and do a little sightseeing in the hills. One of the most interesting features of the island is the noticeable lack of cars. Most people drive electric golf carts, and for that reason, you don't hear much noise on the streets. The best side of the island to catch a fish is the north side. Okay, so what do you think? Does that paragraph keep the promise of the topic sentence? What's the topic sentence? The best place in California to go catch a fish is off the island of Catalina. I mean, you got to give the writer at least a little credit. I mean, we're still on the island, right? By the time we get to the end of the paragraph, we're still on the island. And the last sentence sounds pretty good. The best side of the island to catch a fish is the north side. So it starts pretty good, it ends pretty good. But what's going on in the middle here? What are we talking about? Tourists flocking year-round, shopping, eating. We got electric golf carts and not a lot of noise. Like, what does any of this have to do with fishing? None, zero, nothing to do with fishing. So once again, while this paragraph at least stays on the island of Catalina, it doesn't deliver on the promise of the topic sentence. It's easy to spot a paragraph that lacks cohesion, a paragraph that's going all over the place when it's not your paragraph, because you don't know where the writer is going. You're relying on the writer, and the writer gives you this topic sentence, and so that's what you're holding on to, and you know very quickly when the writer departs from the topic sentence. So that's not the hard part. The hard part is when it's your writing, and you've written the topic sentence, and you think you know where you're going, so you just start writing, and you don't get confused because you're the writer. The best thing you can do probably to catch lack of cohesion in your paragraphs is to get a friend to read your paragraphs for you and let you know. But short of that, maybe once you've written a paragraph, take a break, come back to the paragraph, look at that topic sentence, and then read each sentence that follows. And if there's ever a moment where you feel that you've got a sentence in there that really isn't proving or delivering on the promise of that first sentence in your paragraph, you need to reconsider it. It's not hard to spot it in your own writing, but it does take more effort than it does to spot it in somebody else's writing. So if you can't get someone else to look at your work for you, then give yourself a little bit of objectivity by taking 5 minutes away from it, come back to it. In my own, when I'm writing, what I like to do is when I finish writing something, or maybe I'm halfway through it, I never publish anything until I've at least given myself a night's sleep, or a couple hours, or a walk, or a meal, a cup of coffee, something, anything. Go play some video games for a while, whatever, to kind of reset my brain, and then come back and then take a look at it, read it again. And I'm always surprised at how that little bit of separation gives me that all important objectivity to be able to see the holes in my writing when I couldn't see them, just when I had finished writing it, because it was all in my mind seemed clear. So I recommend that as well. There are a lot of ways that you can check for cohesion in your papers. We've talked about those in other videos, but so I'll just point you back to those. But look and see if your blueprint is connected and proving your thesis, and then are those blueprints forming the topic sentences? See how that all holds together? Are they forming the topic sentences of the paragraphs that follow? And then the next level is, okay, well, are my paragraphs actually holding true to those topic sentences? And it just kind of forms this straight line of tight, cohesive thought. And that paragraph structure is a big part of that. So pay close attention to your paragraphs. I'm just for fun, not like you need any more writing to do, right? But for fun, I'm going to put in the description a few topic sentences, and if you feel like it, take a crack at one or two of them and write a brief paragraph and drop it in the comments, and I'll let you know if you nailed it or not. If I think that your paragraph that you wrote actually delivers on the promise of the topic sentences I'm providing. So just something to do for fun, and if you do put it in the comments, I will comment on it. I'll give you my thoughts, and it's just the next step, guys, to making sure that your writing is going to get you that good grade on the essay that you're writing, and get you where you want to go with your work. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. If you liked it, make sure to like the video and subscribe. That helps me out as I try to build this channel. And do let me know if this is helpful. And also, if you have any thoughts, any ideas of something that you'd like me to cover, drop that in the comments as well. I do check those out, and I really kind of want this to be a two-way conversation as I try to help you out on your journey to in academia and as a writer. So anyway, guys, don't fear the blinking cursor and embrace the challenge of the written word. We'll see you next time.